For the first time ever, a Seton Hall Pirate is heading into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. And it is a backstop who was a fantastic catcher for the Hall, part of two College World Series teams in 1974 and 75, one of the greatest to ever wear a Pirate uniform, and now he's made Seton Hall history. You know him as number 15 in South Orange, Rick Cerone, joining us here on a special Zoom. Rick, congratulations. What does it mean to be the first Pirate to be heading into the Hall?
Well, I think it's about time as far as Seton Hall being recognized. I always felt, and I'm very, very humbled. I'm very proud of this accomplishment, not just for myself, but to prove that players from the East Coast can actually play in baseball. The West and the South and the warm weather states they get to have a big advantage over players that come from the Northeast. We have to deal with the elements, but we can play. There's some good players out there, and I think it's nice to be honored and recognized so many years later. And you know what? I think Seton Hall deserves it.
And you went from the Hall to the majors. You spent parts of 18 seasons with 8 different organizations. You're the only Pirate to ever have homered in the World Series. That was back with the Yankees. When you think about that transition from Seton Hall to eventually making it to the bigs, Rick, what did you learn from Mike Shepard that helped you transition into being a professional?
Well, Mike Shepard dealt with it. He was tough. It's a very interesting story how I wound up at Seton Hall. Out of high school, out of Essex Catholic in Newark, I was known as a quarterback, and I had 60 football scholarships and 0 for baseball. The one thing I wanted to do, though, I wanted to play both sports in college, and none of the big schools would allow you to do that. They were concerned about football, and you're going to be our quarterback. And so I eventually signed with the University of Rhode Island, a letter of intent, and that was going to University of Rhode Island to play both sports. Somehow I wound up playing for Mike Shepard during American Legion that summer. He convinced me. He said, listen, we don't have a scholarship right now, but we can find you one. And you know what? Would you just play baseball? My father was not very happy when I made the move. He's old school Italian. He said, you made a commitment. You made a commitment, Rick, to the University of Rhode Island. They expect you to be their starting quarterback. I said, Dad, it's not right. I'm a little afraid. I don't know what to expect in college. And when I got to Seton Hall, I didn't expect a guy as tough as Mike Shepard. He was tough. We battled. He was a Marine. He was really hard on us. But you know what? The further I get away from the time I spent with Shep, the more I appreciate it. He prepared me not only for the season of baseball, but for life and for obstacles that you'll come across, whether it's in the business world after baseball, speaking to you today, being able to use my education and my degree. That was very important. I wanted to graduate, even though I was in the big leagues as a junior. I went back and graduated on time. So Shep was tough. We had our battles. I think, John, you'd like a little story. My first game I ever played for Seton Hall. Spring of 73 down in Florida. We're playing Florida International, and I must have said something wrong. I don't know. I always have had a big mouth and say the wrong things at certain times. But whatever I did, I got Shep pissed. He pulled me out of the game. He says, just get away from me. Go run in the outfield. I said, what do you mean run in the outfield? He says, go line to line, just run. And there must have been 3 innings left of the game, and I'm still running. The lights are out. The team's on the bus. And finally, our captains, Marty Caffrey and Rico Bellini, they say, hey, Shep, you still got Rick running in the outfield out there. They said, okay, go get somebody to get him. And boy, I was pissed. That's the first game I ever played for him. So I guess it was his way of, I guess they call that tough love. But it was hard, but good for me.
Let's take a trip down memory lane, Rick, and every team is different here. So let's start with the 74 team. Tell me about that run and what it was like to have a Pirates jersey walking into Omaha, Nebraska, Seton Hall in the College World Series?
Well, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think we were a little overmatched my sophomore year. And I think we were good. Unfortunately, we had 3 days of rainouts.
Yeah.
So what happened is they had to make a doubleheader, and we were not ready for that whole environment. I don't think. We were a good team. We matured much better by my junior year. We were able to compete. That first year was crazy. It was hectic because of the rain. But we lost 2 straight, and we were sent home. And we really didn't play well. My junior year was the team that, we had a really good team. We were probably 1 starting pitcher away from winning the World Series. An interesting story, we had to go up against the number 1 team in the country, Florida State. They were 54-8. We beat them 11-0. Todd Heimer, big left-handed knuckleball pitcher for us, first baseman. He threw a gem. And we wound up losing 2 games, Texas and South Carolina. But the interesting thing is, and they both went to the finals with Texas winning. Texas was the greatest memory I have of the World Series. Why I say that is they scored 10 runs in the first inning. Before we got off the field, we're losing 10-0. It's very easy to quit and fold up the tank, and go and head home. But we kept crawling back. All I remember, bases loaded in the 8th inning, Ed Blankmeyer, who became the coach of St. John's, my roommate, bases loaded. It's 11-9 now. Remember, it's 10-0. Now it's 11-9. They're leading. He hits a bullet to left center field, full out dive, the greatest catch this guy ever made in outfield. You saw the ball like in the leather. I mean, 3 runs are going to score. We're going to take the lead. We'll probably win the game and go to the finals. But he made the catch. That was the 3rd out. We wound up losing. I believe it was something like 12-10. But we battled our butts. And the game was interesting because we're the small school from Seton Hall. Nobody really knows about. Where are they from? USC is there, Texas, all these great schools. And the crowd started to fill up for the night game. And then all of a sudden they see the scoreboard, 10 runs in the first inning, and now we're coming back. We got a lot of fans that day. And not only the people that were in the stands, the coach of Texas, Cliff Gustafson, who's a Hall of Famer, he came over to the dugout and he said, "Guys, you got nothing to be ashamed of. You should be very proud. You scared the crap out of us." But, that's what stands out in the College World Series, just that type of fortitude that we had, not to give up and keep fighting. And it was great. It was great to be a part of it.
1975, that team, you just brought up some great memories. For you were on the all-tournament team in the World Series. What was it like just for you? What were you feeling both at the catcher spot, at the plate, just the type of baseball you were playing?
Well, you also got to remember, John, that I was also the second college player taken, I think, in the draft. And the draft was prior to the College World Series. So you could either wet the bed, as I say, and not play well, or be the guy that everybody's saying. You're the All-American. You've got to step up. You've got to lead that team. And I did. I had a nice series, hit a couple of home runs. They say one of the longest home runs ever hit. And I learned one thing. The home runs get longer the further away from the time. So this one, they said, went over the scoreboard, down to the bottom of the field. But you know what? I like it. Let them keep making bigger and bigger and bigger. But we belonged. That was the biggest thing. We belonged at that tournament with the best teams in the country. And you know what? It was a nice showcase for Seton Hall. I really believe that this honor, I love it. I'm very honored. But you know what? We've had a lot of good baseball players come through Seton Hall. I've been very fortunate to be like the first one and the one that had his number retired the first time. So hopefully this opens up the door for them to recognize more people from Seton Hall. I love I made the right decision not going to Rhode Island. and picking Seton Hall, and I support them now. It's been a great opportunity, and I keep in touch with all my friends. Well, I always have the guys over for barbecues, and my father kept scrapbooks like no other human being. He kept every article, whether I was doing something good or if I wasn't. And so what I do is when the guys come over, I have like 3 scrapbooks of all Seton Hall stuff. And I'll just have them on the counter or something, leave them open. And you'll see like Rico, my buddy Rico, Marty Caffrey, or Blankmeyer, they'll say, boy, I was a better player than I thought. I don't remember hitting this home run or that home run. But it's nice to have those memories and that experience. And I, college baseball is much better, and I've always said this, much better than professional baseball or any kind of professional sports. When you get to the professional level, it becomes a business. I know there's 50,000 people in the stands, and we had player strikes, and we had this, who's jealous of this guy making more money? You know what? College, you didn't have that. You just had guys that loved to play the game and had some fun, and that's the way you should always play the game.
1981 World Series, Dodger Stadium. Yankees, Dodgers, Fernando Valenzuela on the mound, and you hit a homer off of him in Game 3.
Should have hit 2. John should have hit 2 that day.
Should have hit 2.
No, I'm dead serious. And I think I did hit 2, but they called it a double. First time up, Fernando. Yeah, Fernando tried to sneak a little piece of cheese in here. And I hit a line drive down in Dodger Stadium. They have the low rail. And the ball hit the top of the rail, they said, and bounced back. When they showed the replay, it looked like it hit the guy behind the seat and went back. It hit him right in the chest. But then the next time up, Fernando tried to throw a little screwball to me, and I hit a 2-run homer to give us a lead. And, yeah, I could have had 2, but I had 1. It was a great feeling. And I didn't realize I was the only Pirate in history to hit a home run in the World Series. That's a nice little thing. I mean, I like that. I like those memories. Unfortunately for me, it was the only World Series I played in, and we didn't win. We should have won. The one good thing about this pandemic is called YouTube. I got to see the 6 World Series games. I got to see the Milwaukee games on there. I never got to watch them. And you know what? I always said we should have won against the Dodgers. And now I take that back. We made too many mistakes. We didn't play well. We didn't bring our A game to the Dodger Stadium. They beat us 3 one-run games. We wound up losing in Game 6. And then, I looked at all the games, and I said, you know what? We had our opportunities. Reggie Jackson got hit in the head with a fly ball. We blew a 6-2 lead on the Saturday game there. And you know what? The Dodgers deserved it. The Yankees had beaten them for many, many times. That was their year.
For all those current Pirates out there right now, Rick, obviously these are some strange, unprecedented times, but let's look at the positives here. What is your advice, your insight to those guys, no matter what year they're in, that are playing Seton Hall baseball right now?
Well, I mean, you have a great program. Younger Shepard is taking over, and he's doing a good job. You have a good conference. I mean, the Big East is a good conference, legit talent. My advice has always been the same. Play against the best players available. If you have designs on a professional career, and I never thought about that. I mean, come on. I mean, I happened to lead the team in hitting my freshman year, and that's the first time I ever even thought of a professional career. I said, wait a minute. 2 guys got drafted. And I said, maybe I'll be drafted when I'm, their age. I never even thought about it. And I would do me a favor, get your education, by far, the most important thing. But put the time and effort in. Ed Blankmeyer, who became the coach of St. John's, we used to get the bubble key. We had the, I'm just thinking, we used to steal, Shepard used to give us the key to the bubble when I was a freshman. And I had a tough time with the curveball. So we would go down there, open up the bubble ourselves, pull the batting machine out, the curveball machine, and Blanky would feed it to me. I'd feed it to him. We also had Yankees coming over in the middle of the winter to work out. So, I mean, you got to put the effort in. You got to try to improve. And the way you improve is by playing against the best talent. But you've got to be driven. You've got to have that drive. You've got to have that type of personality that keep pushing you. And I don't care if it's in baseball or in business, in life, raising children. It all comes down to the same thing. I've been blessed. I've got 3 great girls. I just became a grandfather. He's my little Cooper. My first grandson, Jessica, had a beautiful boy, Cooper. He's 5 months old. I have not been able physically to touch him. And we're in a different world right now. And, I understand. And you know what? 2 of my daughters lived in Manhattan. They both moved out. So, and my daughter Carly's a basketball coach at Cliffside Park High School, girls varsity basketball coach. Very proud of her. My oldest, Jessica, works for Google. She's been there about 5-6 years. And my youngest daughter, Nikki, is with UBS, a financial advisor. So I've been very, very lucky. I've been very blessed. And I'm, you got to work hard, though. I mean, nothing comes easy. And there's going to be a lot of people who push you down. You got to keep getting up.
Well, like you, Rick, your kids, they've never lost their hustle.
Yeah, there you go. Shep's old phrase. And you know what? That's a nice phrase. Never lose your hustle. That was Shep's words. We said it every time in our little pregame prayer. Remember the old coach it was, too, for Oni Carroll. Remember the old coach and never lose your hustle. And that's a good motto to go by. Very good motto.
Rick Cerone, the first Seton Hall Pirate to head into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. He'll head in with Jason Varitek, the longtime Red Sox catcher, with Jim Morris, a great coach, Paul Molitor, who he just brought up that he was a teammate of. It's a loaded class, and a Seton Hall Pirate is part of it. Rick, congratulations on your high honor and history.
Thanks a lot, John. It's been a nice time spending a little time with you and go down memory lane. It's nice to relive those memories. Thanks again.